Yes, indeed, folks, the sounds of Edgar and Nails to the Wheel here on Blue Please. This is WoW Radio. My name is Total Biscuit, and you are listening to the air. Yeah, I never really understood the whole on the air thing. You are listening to the air. You are on the air. You are under the air. You are to the side of the air. The air is over there. It doesn't like you. Yeah, this is what happens when I drink Lucozade. Anyway, let's see what we got now. As I said, this issue that we're covering, particularly the Method World Second, quote, kill or Vash, is a very interesting one. And it can be split into multiple things. Yes, multiple things. Now, here's the more drama-fueled element of it, and that is World First or World Second. Or maybe it's World 10th. One of those mystery kills that we just don't know about. There has been debate, and there has not been debate as far as I can see between the guilds. If you go on, say, Nihilum's website, you will find that there is effectively a troll post. It's on the forums. Let's go there right now, nihilum.co.uk. Click the forums if the site decides to work. I'm going to break it in a minute. Let's see where we go. Method EU Sylvanas claiming... Come on, there we go. Method EU Sylvanas claiming World First Vash. Now, this was posted by some random troll level 1, and it's claiming that Method EU claimed World First. Now, that is not actually true. If you read that thread specifically, and I'll have someone post that thread in the main channel for you, then you will find that that is absolutely, totally wrong. Absolutely 110% wrong. Method have not claimed anything of the sort. What they have claimed is a totally legit kill. Specifically, the post began with Ray saying Method have downed Lady Vash second in the world. Which is of course true. Method have downed Lady Vash second in the world. Now, if you go back to the Nihilum thread, you will see that people are basically calling the guy out. I said the original poster was just trying to create drama. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing, but he's not the only one. The thing about raiding is people tend to get very emotive over it, exceedingly emotive over it. It's kind of the rock star rock concert thing in WoW. Someone made an interesting comment on a site quite a while ago as regards to Nihilum, I believe, downing Vash, and they described Nihilum as rock stars within the community. There's a certain amount of irony to be had there, and I'm sure Nihilum themselves would laugh at it, but it's not entirely and completely inconceivable. Let's have a look at what they actually are to the community. People do look up to that guild. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like the guild for various reasons. Cool, fair enough. Nobody's universally liked, especially not someone in the limelight. Anyone who's got a spotlight on them will attract criticism. And the brighter that light is, the more criticism they will attract. That's fine. You've got people that don't care. You've got people who are like, oh, okay, cool. Then you've got fanboys on either side. You've got people who are like, ZOMG, Nihilum is te best, la la la. And ZOMG, Nihilum is te worst, la 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 la. And both of these groups are completely and totally irrelevant, of course. And we'll listen to what they've got to say, but they will insist on trolling. And what we have to decide is there any merit whatsoever to what they're saying? And try and discuss both sides of the argument, because that's what being a balanced debater is all about. I do prefer ranting, but I'll try and be balanced this time around. At least for a while, anyway. Let's go and have a look at this thread. So, as I say, the thread was posted in the main WoW Radio channel. That's pound or hash WoW Radio on irc.wowirc.com. Currently provided by MMO IRC Network. Thank you very much. So yeah, it's called Method Down Lady Vash World Second. And you go down there and you'll find grats, blah, 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 blah. Originally, everything's all good and fine. Until you find a level 2 troll. Of course, again, someone too cowardly to post on their main. Grats on world first real kill. And then it starts to get a little bit dodgy. I was like, now don't get cranky because they didn't manage to kill her before Nihilum, blah, blah, blah. Both kills don't count. Grats on world first loots. Of course, there's the irony there because it was a bugged kill, but never mind anyway. So you got some random level 2 troll blithering on about it's the first real kill. Now, the question is there any validity whatsoever to what that person is saying? As annoying and trolly as he may be, and there are other people in the thread that are actually saying that kind of thing. Although most, that's just saying, congrats. As in Nihilum. Nihilum's saying, congrats. People from Nihilum are like, great, well done, excellent. I'm glad someone else has had the guts to go up against this bitch. And that's fair enough. That is the kind of camaraderie you would expect to find in the endgame raiding environment between the people who are actually doing the encounters, not the people who are sitting on the sidelines who are wiping on Moreaus. No offence to those wiping on Moreaus legitimately, if you've only just started, but if you just do it because you suck, well, you're not really in any kind of position to comment on what really makes a world first. It's not entirely surprising that people are pulling this kind of thing out of the hat. You can look at a little bit of a history as regards to World First, and you will see that this is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. Go back to the Cthulhu kill. The Cthulhu kill, people actually complained about two things. Firstly, they complained that due to the way a fix was applied, a hot fix, certain people had, specifically the US side, had to deal with clearing the whole of Anchorage 40 again, whereas European maintenance is on a Wednesday, not on a Tuesday. So Nihilum were able to kill Cthulhu before the entire instance reset, so everything was cleared up to Cthulhu. And people argued, well, that's not fair, it's not a legitimate world first, blah blah blah. The second point was that they then actually went as far as claiming, and this might sound very odd to you now, but back in the day this was quite serious, and people apparently weren't used to this kind of thing happening. Well, it's not a legitimate world first kill because they're buffed up to the nines with world buffs and consumables. Now, some people at that point genuinely believed that this was a bad thing and this was cheating. It's not legitimate until you do it without the world buffs. Oh, really? Well, that's interesting, because right now, consumables are pretty much required, and it's very poignant to point that out, now that Gil's Light Method and, of course, Nihilum are saying you cannot kill Vash without being buffed up to the nines with consumables. You can't get through Phase 2 quick enough. You can't DPS her down hard enough by just using the gear that is currently available to you. Now, that's the way it really should work. You should just be able to use the gear available to you and down it, but that's not the way it actually works. Right now, gear is so mind-numbingly terrible, as people will attest, and they're having to alter massive amounts of endgame gear. I mean, for God's sake, just look at the bloody Paladin gloves that dropped in the first place from Vash, just to how bad those are. Those are worse, arguably worse, than the gloves from Achumen the Hunter, who, as anyone can attest, including Roast Biff and Max Map's new guild, you can in fact down Achumen on your first attempt the first time you go in there, and it's not even remotely difficult. And they would be absolutely correct in that assumption. Achumen is not difficult, yet drops gloves better than those. That is just stupid. Absolutely 110% mind-numbingly stupid. And if anything, there's your reason right there for having to use all of these consumables. The gear that was acquired beforehand, which should, after enough farming, should have been enough, isn't enough. It's not. And for God's sake, it's not like Nihilum or Method or all of these other guilds that are attempting Vash have bad gear. I mean, do me a favour, they're on the cutting edge of gear. They are, quite genuinely, on the cutting edge of gear right now. And if that is the case, then why can't they kill them without consumables? Why are all the theory crafters there, sitting down, and after their years and years of raiding experience, saying, you cannot beat this without consumables. It cannot be done with the level of gear that we should have right now. Yeah, maybe when we've got some Black Temple gear we can go back and do it without consumables, but that's not the point. When we've got Black Temple gear, who's going to be wanting the terrible Achumen gloves anyway? Who's going to be wanting Tier 5 when we've got Tier 6, which is better? There is no logic there. It's supposed to be a linear progression. So, consumables back in the day were an issue. We had Kel'Thuzad, the issues with Kel'Thuzad. Kel'Thuzad despawned for both Death and Taxes and Nihilum. What we had there, we had the fanboys on either side, and to some degree the guilds, but this was, in my opinion, somewhat legitimate, saying, well, Death and Taxes got US GMs working through the bank holiday to help them out to respawn Kel'Thuzad. Nihilum got nothing. They said, you've got to wait for a reset. And of course people were complaining about that. The guilds, in my opinion, are completely and totally fine to complain. That's cool. They should be complaining about that kind of thing, because again, that's bad aftercare. It's bad technical support. But the fanboys? Yeah. They don't really have any right whatsoever because they tend to just go at other guilds for the sake of it and think that this will perhaps endear them. Endear them with their rock star heroes. Maybe he'll catch the pick when he throws it out into the crowd. Or his sweaty, sweaty armband. I'm sorry, but that's just pathetic. It really is. And the question you've then got to ask is, whose fault is it that Nihilim's kill bugged out, quote-unquote? Now, people not knowing what actually happened on Nihilim's world first kill would like to know, perhaps, that apparently Vash evaded for a little while. And she lost some hit points as a result. Wasn't a huge amount on the great scale of things, but it was significant. And of course now people are coming back and saying, well, it bugged out so it wasn't really a world first kill. Okay, well, when did that happen? When did Lady Vash die? In comparison to when, Method have just downed her right now. There's a significant gap of time. Now, are you telling me that if Vash was actually a 100% fine encounter, if it wasn't bugged, if it wasn't doing all of these horrible things, are you seriously telling me that Nihilim wouldn't have actually been able to go and kill her again legitimately? No, I really, really don't believe that they wouldn't have been able to do that. The fact of the matter is, they went elsewhere to a place that was more fun. And that's completely understandable. If you were to kill Vash after how many millions of gold wasted, how many hours upon hours upon hours of bashing your head up against an encounter that is more luck-based than anything else, and then you get a pair of gloves like that, you say, well, this is pointless. Let's go to something better. Let's go and do the Eye, which has so far been relatively okay, aside from Allah dying in the air and Solarian having been stealth nerfed as regards to arcane resist gear, and nobody got told until Deathwish downed her. Or him, or it, whoever it might be. It's completely and totally understandable that Nihilim would go and do that. Any guild would go and do that. If they had the option, they would rather go somewhere nice and shiny, and from what I've been told, the Eye is pretty cool. In comparison to Serpent Shrine, it's a bloody paradise. People prefer to be in there, and the progress is back to what it should be. Nice, genuine progress on bosses that are difficult, but not bugged, and they are attainable, and that's the kind of thing I really like to watch. I remember back in the day with the feature we used to do on Farm Status, the endgame show called Nax Watch, and from week to week we'd check on the progress of various skills, and it was exciting. It was really exciting to see who was winning out on particular encounters, and when they started hitting 4 horsemen, it was very exciting to see, well, this is a really difficult encounter. Who's going to manage it first? Who is going to manage it? And that was great. How can we even go on? How can we go on with this raid excitement when encounters are just so horribly bugged like this? You can see the reaction. The community itself is getting annoyed, and sadly, some of the community are choosing to lash out at the players involved and not lash out at the people responsible for it in the first place, and that's Blizzard's development and Blizzard's QA. Now, I'm sorry, if you are telling me that Blizzard cannot QA their encounters by putting together a 25-man raid, then that's just insane. And you're going to come back at me and say, well, you can't test all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, but a lot of these bugs seem pretty damn replicatable. These are the kind of things that should have been hot-fixed, and people have had to wait week upon week upon week for this patch that doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon, despite being on the PTRs themselves. And to be fair, who the hell's even going to bother? The Black Temple loots better. The bosses look better. It looks like more fun. If you want to get into Hayal, then cool. But I can just see people bypassing the whole thing completely. By the time they've fixed it, Vash becomes pretty much irrelevant. People are like, yeah, we're not going to bother. We're not going to bother go killing this guy. She doesn't drop anything good. She's a waste of our time. Let's go and do something new. Let's go and do something more fun, because we are playing the game to develop our characters and to meet new challenges, not bang our heads up against the same one that just spits in our faces every single time we try it, because she just will not die. And that's not due to our lack of ability, that's not due to our lack of equipment, that is simply due to the fact that the encounter was not tested properly. And that, in my honest opinion, is completely and totally disgraceful. Now, all I can say is this: if Method do not get their loot within the next couple of days, I would ask people to shout, email, ticket, do whatever the hell you think is a good way of getting Blizzard to listen. Because if they don't, then it really does show that they are not on the ball and they are not in touch with their community and too stuck in their own introverted kind of development cycle. And that doesn't help. Because in this case, this is a perfectly legitimate concern. This is not another balanced wine. This is not another undead rogue complaining about getting owned in an arena. This is a genuine problem with an encounter in the game, and it is genuinely affecting people, even those who aren't even in their blinking instance, because they're getting disheartened, demoralised, and they're wondering what exactly they're paying for. You listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Incoming rapping the forums. Anyone who doesn't like this, you better tune out now. Enjoy. Yo, 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 faux shizzle and so forth. Time for yet another edition of the one and only Rapping the Forums, the worst feature ever. It's where we take the worst posts we can find in the forums and turn them into hip-hop styling. For fat beats. Yes, beats. Right, let's get on with it. This is an interesting thread, and it's called Please Make Help. Oh yeah. It's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Please make help, I would want to know as I haul to go to desolate chain plates since I do not know where. And then a champion who continues to kill. Right, make to me, thanks thousands. NB, which are the best place in order to increase that levels. He, sorry baby, but I have no other way, thank thousands. You say what? K, I think it's trying to communicate. Fascinating, the warrior said one word that day. Epic, does he need directions to Desolus? A bodyguard to get him there? Sexual pleasures for a warrior in plate lol. That was a good one, that's what he wants. He wants someone to show him the way to Desolus, and then kill all the mobs when he's there so he can get the XP. I think he wants a warrior to do as he mentions plate, but that could have meant anything. As Horde, you have to run quite a long way to get to the fly, but this is Shadow Play Village. I usually run from Sunrock Retreat to stop Talamatters via the John Bain. If you want help questing in the area, you better ask for help on your help. Would be great if you told us where you are from so someone could help you in your domestic language. Lol, I love you. Over your skill in languages impresses me. Yo, mighty cow, I salute you. P.S. Shard Vale is full of nasty little things though. You have to be very, very sneaky, moo, or carry a really big stick. Sneaking up on fire animals while carrying a really big stick is one of my RL hobbies. Why lord, this thread delivers. I wish everyone who wasn't so mean. This guy apologized for using Babel, so it probably her only means of communication. At least Umbra gave some useful advice. Otherwise, this poor person would simply be made for not being able to speak proper English. Meh.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
Yo, oh, babble, I feel like an ass. Now, yeah, same here. This kinda gives it away, don't you think, at the end of his post, huh? Win, thank you, I find him. But I fell to the hobby, he, best place to level for your ranges. Shimmery flats and my translating skills have now broken, I lol. Maybe he used artificial Babelfish translation to translate his native language to English. Babelfish that often comes up with the weirdest translations. That's pretty much what I said. But people read it does babble. Lol, this guy is made of win. Oh, I was being hasty with skimming the topic. Anyway, Babelfish rocks bravo to your round friend. I think he was randomly apologizing to his friend Babel, since seen in that's the post. Seemed quite random. Take care, mate. I am laughing so hard right now. Thank you. Oh, lol. Your English so bad it makes me smile. Also, I kill you, sneaky yak man. Please tell me you're trolling. If you're not, his Babelfish English is almost better than yours. Haha, good one. I honestly think the guy is saying, I want to know how to get a Desolus place since I don't know where it is. Also, I would like a champion and guessing high-level person who will clear the way from there to there, way to there, killing everything. Thanks a lot. Sorry you for using Babel, but I have no other way. Thanks a lot. You form of George look harder at the poster. They start making sense. What do you say, boy? I smart man in village. L2P. Omra can understand off on things too. You win. I last so harder.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
This is in loving memory of the Doom movie that I watched a couple of days ago. It was decidedly average. LOL first-person shooter segment. Enjoy. Evil Horde with Hang 'Em Again, E1M1, that's on the Dark Side of Phobos remix album from OC Remix. Go check it out.